It's now my honor to present the Ambassador Award, and that's new this year, and it's given to an individual who has helped the organization and our members establish strong relationships across the industry. The inaugural winner of this award is Michael J., President of Educational Systems. And I'm obligated to add, he is a lifetime member of the National Science Teachers Association. And we have fewer and fewer of them as they go on to other pastures. Anyway, Michael was selected partly for his work in helping the organization make real and substantial communications in the ed tech sector. Growing our reach among digital developers has been a long-time goal of the organization, and his tireless efforts on our behalf have moved us solidly into this arena. In addition, as CIC committee co-chair for the past 3 years, he has expanded the scope of the conference, attracted new attendees from member and non-member companies, pushed for and brought in worthwhile presenters that are not just drawn from the ranks of the usual suspects, and developed original, relevant content that speaks to all aspects of the industry. Finally, he has outdone himself with the Learning Resources Metadata Initiative, explaining and advocating on behalf of LRMI at every opportunity. Michael, you are, simply put, an outstanding example of the collaborative nature of the learning resource community. So it is my great pleasure to present this man in his new suit. And I had to ask him today whether this was the one. With the 2013 Ambassador Award.
It's not digital, but it's good. I only have one page, but it scrolls real long. So, I want to thank you too, as Ira said, the staff. This is also chosen by the staff of the pre-K-12 group. And I want to thank, it's really a pleasure working with that group all the time. So I want to thank the staff of the AAP pre-K-12 group and the members for this award. I'm honored, I truly am. I'm particularly pleased to be presented this award by David Beacom, as he mentioned, because I am a live member of the NSTA and I remain a committed science educator, and always will be. Actually, when Susan and Stacy called a few months ago and asked to talk with me but wouldn't reveal the topic, I thought, man, what did I do now? We work so closely and transparently on so many different projects that it was a mystery meeting was rather frightening. What a wonderful surprise when they told me I was to receive this award. It may be hard to tell, but I was a science nerd in school and served, there you go, and served on the student advisory board of the Greater San Diego Science and Engineering Fair for 4 years. And that was life-changing for me. Not only did it start me on the road to becoming a science teacher, but it also made me realize that I could be more than a passive participant in life. I could create change. We need to teach our children how to learn and not how to play school. How to make the rules their own and be confident to share their thoughts and opinions. It is incumbent upon each of us to make sure we have incubated tomorrow's leaders. Absolutely essential. We work in the most incredible industry, highly competitive and yet collaborative in many ways. Terms like co-opetition and frenemy have become pervasive, and yet in the pre-K-12 education, the dynamic is somehow different than in any other business I know. Education and our industry are going through tremendous changes. Unfortunately, we do not have nearly the resources we need to effectively serve the needs of all learners. We have to work smart and efficiently, even as we compete for those limited resources. The AAP should not exist to just protect the interests of its members, but also to facilitate direction and vision for the very nature of how we support student learning. A bit like Hebrew National's motto, this is my first of two advertising references. A bit like Hebrew National's motto, we answer to a higher authority. While we don't have a rabbinical council to hold us accountable, and while we do have educators, state, provincial, and other governmental agencies to do so, in the end, I find that we hold each other accountable for this. We may disagree on pedagogy and instructional strategy, but we all share a goal to improve children's learning. I'm honored to receive this first AAP Ambassador's Award and was quite pleased to learn that I would not have to wear a sash. And yet my colleagues, in fact, do have to call me Mr. Ambassador, so that was good to hear. And although I may be the first, however, there will not be a shortage of people eligible and deserving of this award. Many of you in this room, I know, work as hard or harder than I do in this area. I've had some strong mentors. I want to mention just a few, probably names that you won't necessarily recognize, but I feel compelled because these were important people to me. For those of you who may be science educators, Margaret Nicholson, who was a teacher at Alcalanes High School in Lafayette, California. She was at one time the executive director of the California Association of Chemistry Teachers, and she also was an author on the Chem Study Project. This was many years ago, 1961 through 63. She was an amazing person and quite a mentor to me. Sue Camp, many of you know Sue, who was at the SPA for many, many years before it became the SIA, also a mentor. And lastly, Ann Brown, who was my graduate advisor, an incredible educator and researcher, and a dear friend. I find it hard to separate my professional and personal life, as I truly enjoy my profession and the people I get to work with. In fact, I can honestly say that many of you are some of my very, very best friends. Unfortunately, my parents could not be here today, as the cross-country flight would have been a bit daunting. Their volunteer work and commitment to various causes, many of them related to education, made engagement with my professional industry organizations quite the norm for me. I didn't know everybody can do this. And then we should set that expectation. I appreciate that two of my aunts are here today. Two of my three aunts, and Judy and Elaine, are here. And Elaine, Jane, and my other aunt, Marlene, who could not be here, were both teachers, and to this day we have lengthy discussions about the nature of education and teaching. Of course, my wife, Mary Ladon, is here with me. We share a love for education, art, and children among many pursuits. We've actually taken up mall walking. And quite honestly, we'd love to go out in nature, but we just love watching the kids in that mall. It's amazing. I have put together research studies in my head about kids and patterns and tiles, and don't get me going. We both were once practicing science teachers. We work together now at a company, Educational Systemics, that we founded together in 2002. Many people warned us this would be a recipe for trouble, working together as spouses. I honestly love Mary, having worked down the hall with me for years now, and we get to spend more time together and a chance to work to improve education. I'm happy to report that we've grown even closer in the past 12 years. She serves as Educational Systemics as CFO and makes it possible for me to pursue some pretty quirky projects, regardless of whether they generate revenue, and gets me away from work when I need to. I want to leave you with a final thought. Everything has its price, yet as one advertisement states, this is the second advertisement reference, membership has its benefits. When you decide to join a professional or industry organization, the real benefit comes when you and your colleagues get involved. I know that many of you have, at this event, followed this very same path. For you, your responsibility, however, is to create opportunities for others in your organization or someone you can encourage to get involved in another organization. It is our responsibility to build that future. Thank you again for this award, and I will consider any invitations to ride a parade float when they come my way. Thank you.